Hey there, my name's Kitsune, aka Connor, and in this video I will be ranking all 11 seasons of AMC's The Walking Dead, from least favorite to most favorite. The Walking Dead has a special place in my heart, and it is an all-time favorite TV show of mine. I originally watched Fear the Walking Dead at the end of my final primary school year, until suddenly Morgan opened the season premiere and I recognized Rick, at which point I started watching The Walking Dead. I caught up to my parents at season 10, and as we waited for the final season to drop, I got bored and rewatched the series, ranking them as I go along. In this video, I will also mention my favorite and least favorite episodes of the seasons. Spoiler warning before we start, you've been warned, and let's go. Starting off with least favorite, we have season 4. Starting off in one of the best locations ever in The Walking Dead, the prison, this season was noticeably disappointing for me in both watches of the show. As entertaining as the war between the governor and Rick was, most of the disappointment comes from after the fall of the prison. I understand the group is split, suffered loss and making their way to Terminus, but it still felt really slow to me. The train track travels, the slow episodes of Lizzie and Micah, there just weren't too many exciting moments that stood out to me. The governor focused episode where we meet Tara is the worst one. It took me a couple days just to watch that one episode. However, it does make up with Too Far Gone and A. Rick biting the neck of the claimer, and Carl enjoying an empty neighborhood that gave life to the bad lip reading. Up next is season 3. While this certainly isn't a bad season, it doesn't stick to me as the others do. This season is peak prison era. We meet Michonne, Laurie dies but gives birth to Judith, and we meet Governor in Woodbury. Oh, and Morgan's back, but he's writing things on the walls like a crazy person. To no surprise, my least favorite part about this season is Woodbury, Andrea, and the Governor. While the Governor stands as one of the best villains in the show, it doesn't mean I'm all too excited or pleased with the screen time we have with him. Some top moments in this season include Michonne stabbing the Governor's eye out, Rick going god mode on some basement-dwelling walkers, and Michonne in general. The episode I rated lowest was episode 5, Say the Word. A couple subplots, story, action, nothing too special. Best episode has to be episode 7, When the Dead Come Knocking. Awful things nearly happen to Maggie, yes, but Daryl and Rick are badasses, and Glenn is a fighter. Great stuff. In 9th place is the series premiere, Season 1. This is a nostalgic rollercoaster to look back on, the season that started it all. We meet Rick Grimes, sheriff, shot in combat and coma-ridden, waking up only to find that the world he has known has fallen to the dead. He meets Morgan and his son Dwayne, who teach him and catch him up on the world since he last saw it. Rick enters Atlanta, walkers drinking water, Rick gets stuck in a tank and meets Glenn, one of the best characters throughout the show. He finds his family, his wife is banging his best friend, and his best friend Shane is conflicted with Rick's return. Finally, at the CDC in hope of some cure or refuge, Rick finds out they're all infected, and the doctor gives us a foreshadow to the most heartbreaking episode just 6 seasons later. Worst episode is Vatos, and the best episode is Days Gone By, the first episode. While only 6 episodes for a pilot season, it's great entertainment nonetheless. Following the start of The Walking Dead is The End, Season 11. There are mixed opinions on this final season. Personally, I enjoyed it. I thought the finale was a respectable send-off to the beloved characters in show. Maggie and Negan bicker but get closure. Not forgiveness, but at least an apology. Daryl takes Rick's position of badass leader, but much to my dismay does not get his own little romance with his obvious love interest of Connie. I did enjoy watching the group learn from their enemies and use the Whisperer's tactic against the Commonwealth. I thought that was a clever thing to show how they learn from their wars and fights. We also got to see moments of walkers evolving, climbing walls and using rocks to break glass. I love Judith and Daryl's relationship, as well as the two best friends, Carol and Daryl. The Commonwealth was a cool premise, but I did get a bit taken out of the show from the amount of normal civilization we saw, but I understand it was needed. Rosita's death had me sobbing, and I had a heart attack at Lydia being bit. My least favorite episode of the season would be Rogue Element, where Eugene searches for Stephanie. It's not a bad episode, I enjoyed the detective vibe, but it wasn't as good as everything else. The finale stands as the best episode. We finally see Rick and Michonne again, Daryl speaks facts.
You built this place to be like the old world. That was the fucking problem. You got one enemy. We ain't the Walking Dead.
And Lance Hornsby gets what that annoying little brat deserves. Season 8, The War Against the Saviors. A really nice action-filled season. There isn't much special about it, but it certainly doesn't lack either. We sadly lose our boy Carl, to the point where even Negan is saddened by his passing. I enjoyed seeing all the communities work together to fight the Saviors. Oh, and Morales came back. Remember him? Yeah, that was cool, I guess. Eugene switches sides every episode, but he pulls through in the final by rigging the bullets to backfire, giving Alexandria the win. Rick's mercy prevails over his wrath, much to Maggie's wishes. While I do kind of feel like Negan deserved to die there, we wouldn't be getting Dead City if he did, so good thinking, Rick. Episode 8 was the stickler for me. It was sad watching Carl prepare for his death, but episode 12 takes the cake for the best. After all,
I'm a goddamn cat.
Crime Farm Time Season 2 is up next. Sophia goes missing. While stupidly and completely avoidable, it did give us a shot Carl and the farm. We meet the family of Herschel, Maggie, Beth, and those other family members. This season shows us how Shane was better suited for the apocalypse a bit too early. The others denied his claim about how to survive now, but Shane ends up being right. Glenn and Maggie bang, Dale dies, Sophia dies, Otis dies, Randall who? Oh yeah, that guy. He dies. Then in what could have been a western duel, Shane dies at the hands of Rick, then dies again at the hands of Carl. Shane and Randall's death shows the group how they turn no matter what, bit or not. Laurie is also pregnant with baby Judith, but it's Shane's. Top highlights of season 2 were the highway herd and the farm herd, which splits up the group. Andrea going off on her own to meet Michonne. Best episode is Better Angels, while the episode Secrets holds the hat for least favorite of the season. If only Shane got to tell us something, man.
Let me tell you something else, man.
Next up is season 9, the introduction of the Whisperers, something our group has to fight without the help of leader Rick, who gets impaled after falling off his horse and blows up the trade bridge to stop the herd from invading Alexandria. This season is a roller coaster of emotions, such as Jesus getting stabbed, Rick getting stabbed, Henry getting stabbed, Enid getting stabbed, Tara getting stabbed. Surely someone gets shot or something, right? We meet a new group saved by the grown-up Judith wearing the old Grimes hat. Many fans believe this is the last good season. Some even stopped watching when Rick disappears and go off to the CRM with Jadis. It is a chilling moment to watch some characters discover the Pikes and realize who's dead in episode 15, almost making it my favorite episode. However, what comes after is obviously the top. The worst one would have to be Scars, where we see Michonne's heartbreaking experience of having to go Anakin mode. The day will come when season 7 is next in 3rd place. This season starts off with a heartbreaking and shocking scene. R.I.P. Glenn and Abby. We meet Negan, Glenn meets Lucille, and Carol meets King Ezekiel, the introduction of the kingdom. Tara also finds Oceanside, who plays a part throughout. We meet the Junkers led by Jadis. To be honest, I wasn't too fond of their scenes, but it's whatever. This season is most certainly a wild ride throughout, and there aren't many moments that left me bored or tired. Although, while I love Sasha as a character, I will admit sometimes her scenes weren't much to me as others. She did give Alexandria a chance to fight back though, so thanks Sasha. Season 7 is also home to Easy Street. Yes, that awful, horrible noise. Negan being the ruler and just showing how Rick often isn't always the most powerful was such a change in leadership and the vibe of the show, to a point where even I was scared for them. I don't even have to say that episode 1 is the best episode, so I'll just say that episode 13 was the low getter for this season. Not bad, just not great. Season 5 was a damn hard one to place, for the mentality of Rick was almost enough to make it number 1. Starting off with one of the best episodes in the show, No Sanctuary was the first kicker to show Rick's badassery. And oh, that guy, he was from that one episode. Cool. Rick keeps his promise with a red-handled machete, Bob dies, and we find Beth in a hospital. The hospital set is probably the main reason season 5 was not in first place. I didn't enjoy many scenes of the hospital, even more so when Beth gets popped. Rip Beth. We do, however, meet Eugene, Rosita, Abraham, and Father Gabriel, the coward. Season 5 also gives us Rick's title drop.
That we are the Walking Dead.
in which we meet Aaron not long after and finally enter the Alexandria era, where Rick continues his apocalyptic mentality. Oh hey, Morgan's back! And finally in first place is nothing but Season 6. Oh boy do I love this season. This season is shocking, sad, badass, cheery, and crazy all in one. It is home to, I might just say it, the best episode of The Walking Dead, No Way Out. We finally see that whiny brat Sam die. Sadly, Rick loses his crush Jessica, but Carl loses his eye in a bloody misfire, giving way to Rick going ham on the herd that invades Alexandria. Together as a group, they band together and manage to actually fend off the herd. We meet Hilltop, Eugene bites Dwight's dick, Glenn dies, Maggie is pregnant, psych, Glenn isn't dead. That's next season. We meet the big guy himself in the finale, Negan. This season was thrilling to watch twice, and there really wasn't a moment where I got bored or wanted to stop watching. The episode that doesn't reach as high to me is episode 13, where Maggie and Carol are held hostage by some saviors, but that was still entertaining nonetheless. Season 6 is on top. And that's it. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like and feel free to subscribe for more videos like this. If you disagree or want to comment down your own list, feel free to do so. Check in a few weeks where I might be uploading another video, and thanks for watching.